There's an old saying that goes, the only certainty in life are death and taxes. And when it comes to death, it is certain that all of us who are born must die. But when, how, and where we are going to die is the uncertainty that we are content to live with. Content to live with giving our full to our life. So, in that context, I happened to chance upon this book, When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi, that reflects on life and death, on life well lived, with the vigor, with vim, vigor, ambition, and eventually staring at death that becomes closer and closer as a person goes along. And this book is remarkable on multiple fronts. One is that it shows a facet of a remarkable human being, a driven human being who was at the cusp of his career and his life journey towards becoming a neurosurgeon, a neurosurgical researcher at one of the top universities in the US in Stanford after graduating, after finishing his residency. And what happens is Paul Kaleti, an Indian American born to a family of physicians. His father is a physician, mother is a homemaker, but a driven young lady, and siblings are also physicians. But his life journey takes him places. He decides to explore a career in English literature while doing his bachelor's and master's at Stanford, but eventually decides to take on the family business by doing an MD at Yale, one of the top research universities in America. And after completing that, he gets into a residency, a neurosurgical residency at Stanford, his alma mater, where he is at the cusp of completing his long journey towards becoming a neurosurgeon. And that is when fate throws a curveball at him. He realizes that he has a cyst in his lungs, a cyst that turns out to be the big C, the cancer. And that is where the story takes a turn. And we are shown an aspect of cancer that we hardly ever see. Yes, we hear about stories of people beating the big C or battling it. But this is a first-hand account of going through that journey, of recognizing, yes, the cancer is there and there's nothing this neurosurgeon can do about it except accept that reality, and accept he must, given that he's told that he has about less than a year to live with it, and that cyst comes. There's an advanced treatment that he goes in for, and it's under remission. And it seems that life is going to get back to normal when it reappears with huge force and vigor. And that is going to be the end of Paul. And when he realizes the end is near, and that is where he pours his heart and soul into this book that I was reviewing, when breath becomes air. And this is a fascinating journey because it lays bare his feelings, his heart, his aspirations, and also coming to grips with the acceptance that cancer is out there and he is going to die. And he has only a finite amount of time to live. After half of Paul's book and his life journey, reveals a whole new dimension to cancer and how it can be debilitating, how it can beat down a person, even the best of us, with the best laid plans. And Paul also comes to grips with the cancer. There is not he is not a position to fight it, and he decides he's not going to fight it, accept it, goes through the treatment, but realizes that he only has a finite amount of time. Now, there are a few poignant scenes in this book towards the end that really make you reflect on life and life journey, right? And one is when Paul describes the last time he steps out of surgery as a surgeon and hands up his surgical coat, realizing he's never going back into a surgery as a surgeon because that phase of his life is over. Cancer has taken over, and he's no longer going to be able to perform surgery. That's a pretty poignant moment. Similarly, towards the fag end of his life journey, when he's shivering after treatment and he's unable to even stay awake or sit still, his wife places his newborn daughter on him, and he feels that child, his with his last few breaths, and that is a pretty poignant moment if you can come to think of it. So, in a sense, this book lays bare life journey of a person grappling with cancer and, more importantly, staring death right in the face and the last few months of his year. Excellent write up, beautifully written, very poignant, and takes you into the heart and soul of that person. Now, all of us must come to grips with death. All of us must accept death. When it comes, is anyone's guess. Each of us have our own life journey chalked out for us. Now, this is a book I will file away in my mind's eye for a time when death eventually will stare at me. Thank you.